Hi everybody, Nige back here again, and today we've got another inbox review. Something a little bit different. Well, I say different. It's Airfix's Gloster Javelin, the FAW9-9R in 1/48. Now, the reason I say this is a bit different because it's not a brand new kit, obviously. This kit's been out for a good while now, and we probably won't see this one out there in this guise, because I believe the molds for this got destroyed back when Airfix was going to be taken over or something. I don't know the full story. Same with this, with it and the Scene Vixen. Okay, so the molds got destroyed, so there's a good chance we're not going to see this kit again. So it's I won't say it's a rare kit, because I believe you can still get this from Hannon's as a unopened new kit. Okay, so though it's rare, it's not unattainable. Okay, so we'll have a look at the plastic and we'll get cracking. So this is the manual. Okay, same as a normal Airfix kit. We've got the blurb about the actual Javelin itself before we go straight into the model itself. Okay, we start off with the tail wheel and what looks like the cockpit. Okay, moving on to putting the cockpit together, doing the seats, sandwiching the seats and the instrument panel and the cockpit all inside the nose, before we then move on to adding a bulkhead and another part of the actual instrument panel for the rear person. That's all to do with the sidewalls, and the actual nose itself goes together. We then move on to building the intakes, which then get put onto the side of the aircraft. We then have the belly going on, what looks like the rear engine parts to go slotting into the belly with some bulkheads and some of the engine rings. That then gets slotted into the belly plate. We then have parts if you want to drill out for the refueling probe. Sandwich the fuselage together, putting on the intake rings. Then we build up the wheel wells, which looks very simplified, before then going on to the wings itself. And there we are, same again, sandwiching them all together, whether you want the flaps open or closed. We then got the massive horizontal stabilizer with the control surfaces get joined onto it like so. Really high outline on this aircraft. Before then we move on to the undercarriage bays, if you want them open or closed with the legs on. There we go, all the way through, and the doors, wheels for both sides. We then have the nose wheel going on, and then we've got all pit tubes, intakes going on. We have the brakes going in on both sides. Well, we've got some weapons and a fuel tank at the bottom just there, and then it tells you how to load this aircraft out. I don't know what those pods are for. It might be gun pods, or they might be extra fuel tanks. I'm not certain. I'll have to do some research on that. For again, we move on to the upper side and we start adding other bits and pieces on it, and then move on to parts of the actual cockpit, whether you want it open or closed, and then on to adding those clear parts, the refueling probe, whether you want to put FOD covers on, ladders on there until you get to the final aircraft. Then we have one of the markings, as you can see just there. That's marking C. Let's have a look at the markings. Where's the other markings for this? Oh, I've missed them. Sorry about that. So we've got A, marking A, grey green upper, silver under, and all over silver aircraft, and another grey green with a silver under. We also get a separate sheet for all the stencil data, all colours in Umbro. So let's move on to the plastic, starting off with the belly and the upper part of the fuselage, those what tanks or wherever they were, and side parts of the actual cockpit. It's all in Airfix's, for the time, the grey blue plastic. So this plastic will be fairly soft, okay, but looking at it, a lot of the panel lines, it looks nice. It's not too deep, and like I said, this is not a new kit, okay, it's an older kit, but apparently it goes together really well. Okay, then you can see the massive slot there for that tail. And move on to the lower wings, and again some nice recessed detail, okay, which you can see just there all over, not festooned with rivets or anything like that. Okay, we've got parts of the tail just there and over there. Move on to the lower wing, okay, sorry, the upper wing. So again, it's a nice wing. We've got the air straits over here, so air gets blown over these parts, okay, you can see over there, like so. And then that massive tail, well, you can see how big it is just there. It's really, really big, that tail. Some of the smaller parts, so we've got wheels, intakes, and engine parts, FOD covers, the air brakes or dive brakes or wherever they were, okay, and we also have down here, we've got the cockpit seats and stuff like that. So again, not massive amounts of detail, okay, but again, remember this was a sign of the times for Airfix. Okay, 2-part wheels. Next through up, we have got the fuel tanks, we've got a boarding ladder, we have a nicely detailed cockpit instrument panels and other parts for the actual boarding ladder just there. So yeah, really nice. I don't know what all these parts are, maybe parts of the dive brakes or the undercarriage. Really nice detailed main undercarriage legs. So now we're moving on to the nose, side nose, and the cockpit for itself, so you can see it. It's a nice detail on the cockpit just there. Don't know what those parts are for or where they go. Actually, it might be part of the tail system. That, okay. We'll see when we get built it. We have the intakes for the engine, and you can see that it's going to need some work in there to deal with the injection pin marks. Massive nose cone, so you'll be able to put a lot of weight in there, so it's not a tail sitter. This brew, again, we've got some of the ordnance down here. These are pylons, the nose, wheel bell, which looks really nice. Okay, and then we've got the engines just there. And again, we're going to have to deal with those injection pin marks unless you're using the fog covers. Last grey plastic part. So we've got our rebuilt wheelbase, the bulkheads, okay, some control surfaces, the engine rings, which quite nice. Some of the either flaps or they're probably maybe the undercarriage bay doors. The massive fueling probe, okay, in 2 parts. There's just the plastic parts. I'm not going to take this out, but they look really nice in there. And before we then move on to the decals, so a big sheet of decals. These would have been printed by Cartograph, so you shouldn't really have any problems with them at all. Look really nice satin finish, not too thick. So yeah, they should go down really nice, all in register, which is great. So there we are, Airfix Gloster Javelin. Okay, now this looks a really nice kit. Okay, yes, it's older Airfix plastic, not the newer stuff that they started going. Yes, it's a bit more simplified because of that. But if you want to build a fairly accurate Javelin in 1/48, I don't even think there is another one available. I know Matchbox did a 72nd version, which then went into, I think it went into Rebel, but don't quote me on that. I think this might be the only 48 one in town, but I'm not 100% certain. Okay, that being said, it's a nice looking kit. I believe it got together really well, and yeah, it's, you know, going to build up to a nice impressive model of the Javelin, one which I'm looking forward to doing. I don't know, we'll be starting this one or another one soon, which you'll see in a review either before, after this, or somewhere in the middle. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.